Hello, I'm back, and this is part 4, and this is your base page 2B, which is the back side of the one we were just working on, which is right there. So we're going to go to this side, and what I've decided, I sketched out this design. I'm actually going to make a page here. I didn't want to bore you with cutting all the details out, so this page here is 8.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches long. You're going to score at the 1/2 inch mark on both sides. So you're going to score at a 1/2 inch, score it at a 1/2 inch. You're going to fold these over. This becomes a piece that is 7.5 by 8.5. Okay, so that means these pages, I need a page right here. I'll need 2 of these, and they measure 7.25 by 8.25. I need 2 of these because that's going to be my mats for this page. Now what I've decided to do is what you're going to do is you're going to cut diagonally on this page. Just like this. You're just going to line this up. I line my line to the left side of my wire and then run that along there, and it gives me 2 pieces. Okay? And then we're also going to do that with both of these pieces. I recommend cutting them singly unless you have a precision rotary and you can go through 2 sheets at the same time. So you're just basically going to line this up like that. You're going to do the same thing, cutting those in half, and the same thing with this. Cutting these in half. Like that. Okay? So we're going to get that started first. And I've already cut my other piece here for my base page. That's that side. We're going to flip it directly over, and that's for this side. Okay, but we're going to do this first. We're going to set this piece. We're going to score tape. I like using score tape for assembling pages. Get my trusty scissors out. And then I'm going to just go ahead and tape this one as well. Trying to get this done before all the activity in the household happens, so it's not too noisy. Usually it's just me and my mom up at this time. So, okay, now what you're wanting to do is you want to make sure you cut off that little section there. That way it's not in your way. You can do the same with that one. These are garbage. You won't be able to use those for anything else. Okay, so then what you're going to do is I turn mine onto the side. pull my tape off, backing off, line it up, and just go slowly down the page. So that you've got a good line up there. Make sure you burnish. Okay? And then you're going to do the same thing. Flip it this way. And see how that goes together? Just like so. Alright, we can get rid of this scoreboard because we don't need it right now. And it just makes it harder to work. Okay, so then you got your pages lined up like that. Isn't that pretty? Alright, and then now we can take this back piece here and we can stick it in here. Okay? So we just take our pretty pattern paper. I'm using my art glitter glue for that process because it'll go down without all the bubbling and weirdness. With some of the other glues that are out there, definitely make sure you burnish your paper down. You want it to grab a hold of everything. If you didn't get the edges and stuff, you'll know because it'll still be sticking up. I just run a bead of glue underneath like that. And continue to do that. Good morning. You just continue to do that till you got everything down. As such. I think I got a little glob of glue underneath there, but I got it out. I see a little corner up here. There we go. Alright, so now you have that page done. Alright, and the very next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put this beautiful paper on here. And I'm going to figure out just where I want it to be. Do I want it like this? Because I do want these to match up. You see that? Okay. Now some people choose to distress the edges with some distressing, and for some albums I do that, but this is a very feminine, pretty album, and I don't want to go too grungy looking. I would rather it be and stay more elegant and feminine. So I'm not going to distress all the edges and all that sort of thing. Just to get a very nice, clean look in the end. I tend to grunge up my Halloween albums and my more masculine, steampunk looking albums. I tend to do that with those. But the girly albums that I like to make, I like to keep them very pretty and light and airy because that seems to be what sells. I mean, I don't know. Who wants to see a dirty looking album? other than somebody that is interested in that particular style, which would be me. So check that out. Burnish that down. Don't forget, because that paper will come up and, well, you don't want to do all that. Okay? Now, I know you're saying, well, that's kind of plain. Well, we're not going with just plain. We're going to take this and we're going to decorate these back pieces, if I could figure out which way they were going. Like that. I try to do that before I put all my glue on, just so I'm not sitting here with a glued piece going, where does it go? You know, you've been there. We've all been there. You don't think about where the placement is, and then you're going to place it, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't go there. That's not right. And so then you got sticky hands. You got to go wash your hands, and you got to dry them and figure all that goo out. All right. This is not going to be the last element. We're going to continue on to build this page. Wait till you see what else I've got in store. Okay, beautiful, huh? Like that. Okay, now this I'm going to be putting into the center. It's a waterfall. I've cut 4 pieces. I've just taken an 8.5 by 11 and I've split it in half, which means at 5.5, I'm going to cut it this way at 5.5, and then I'm going to cut it again at 4.5 this way. I mean, sorry, 4.25 this way, because this is an 8.5 inch wide, so it's got to be 4.25 by 5.5. That'll give you 4 equal pieces that'll look like this. And then what I've done is I've scored each and every one of these at 3/8 of an inch. 3/8 of an inch is, if you just go onto your scoreboard, if you go over 3 notches, it's that one right there. And you want to score it on one side, the long side, just one of the long sides. And then you're going to score it as such, put tape on the back, and you're going to do that for all 4 pieces. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to glue these down. We want to figure out where to place them exactly. So do I want to put it down all the way to the bottom, or do I want to bring it all the way from the top? I'm thinking we're going to go probably an inch down. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to whack ya. Okay, so we're looking at an inch down from the paper here. And I'm just going to draw a little tiny line like that, okay? And then I'm going to check the sides here, and we got an inch that way, and we have less than an inch that way. So I'm just going to nudge it over. We've got almost an inch and an inch. Oh, we've got to move. We've got to move. We've got to move. That is at 7/8, and that's at 7/8. I am a stickler about measurements and making sure everything is measured correctly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, now that I've got it situated right where I want it, I'm going to start pulling the tape off and getting it put down like that. Okay, just like that. I'm going to erase my little notchy there. I know you couldn't see it, but I could. Alright, so then we got that. And then all we're going to do is, this is upside down. Okay, so now that we've got that one down, the very next one, pull the tape off of one side like that. We're going to lay it starting this side. And we're going to go directly underneath, as so. And before we take our finger out of there, we're going to lay this down to make sure that it's down like that. We're going to lay that down. And then we're going to flip up this side, and we're going to pull that tape and just slide it along there. Now remember how I told you we're not going to get rid of all these little edges and strips that you keep, because you can actually take these and you can even mat that little section there. So, well, we may do that, but let's get these done. Okay, so then the very next one, you're going to do the same thing. See how easy this is coming together? Don't be afraid to work on your album. Don't be afraid to start. I do want to mention, if you're just to the point where you know you just can't manage to do an album, which I can't see anybody not being able to do one, but if you're still in that mindset where you just can't seem to figure out how to put an album together, I've got a lady that I want you to follow. Her name is Genevieve Harrison, and she is over at Genevieve Designs on Facebook, on YouTube. You can find her on Etsy, and she is a amazing creator of mini album templates. And she just created her last one and posted it, and of course I had to get it as well, because all of her templates are amazing. And she also has freebie Friday for you as well. So you can, if you go onto her Facebook group and you're part of her Facebook group, she actually posts a little freebie on Fridays. Bless you. Thank you. So, okay, now we got our waterfall done. Next step is going to be just matting these. These are all 5 1/4 inches long by 3 3/4 inches long. And you have to do, because there's 4 of them, you have to do 8 altogether. And so then that's what's going to, I've got all these beautiful colors and patterns. I'm going to assemble all these. Will not make you watch the video on me gluing all this stuff down. I did choose for the very top one this very decorative, almost a postcard type thing from one of the cutouts. So for one of the cutout pages, I just cut out this particular piece that was right here. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to take these little strips here, and I'm going to add this to it on top, on top of this, so that it gives me the border I need, because I just wanted to pop that pink out a little bit more instead of the blue. And so when I'm all done with that, and start on page 3 tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, probably Monday, I will show you this finished one, and then we'll start on page 3. Okay? Thank you very much for watching. You have a great day. Bye.